Hi everyone! In today's video, let's discuss about the listening skill. Throughout my entire YouTube channel, I mostly discuss about the speaking skill or the writing skill, and sometimes we neglect the listening skill, also a very important skill, because first of all, in order for us to understand what the other person is talking about, what they are saying or what they are mentioning, we need to be able to listen and understand them first. And remember, there's one thing why so many people they lack important listening skill is because they're not used to real life and natural English. Because the English that are taught at school is somewhat different from real life English. For example, if you listen to a lot of English videos or some natural speaker, native speakers, they teach you English on their YouTube channel, you may find it really easy to listen to. But when you do talk to someone who is a native speaker in real life, it can be quite difficult. Or when you're watching some English movies, especially action films or comedies, those are some movies that are extremely hard to be able to understand because their voices are different, they have different accents, and sometimes you're not used to listening to English so fast. So, three problems I can think of that most English learners face when they listen to English. Firstly, is that they do not understand. Second is they are not used to someone who speaks too fast because the majority of native English speakers speak really fast and they don't speak slow like this in real life conversation. They tend to speak faster, and this includes intonation, linking between words, and stresses in words. For example, what are you doing? That is when I speak really slowly. But if you are a native speaker or you are used to speaking English, you will tend to link the words with each other and speak faster. What you doing? And for someone who are not used to listening them or listening to linking sounds will find it really hard to understand. And thirdly, another problem is different accent. Because notice that different people from different countries will speak English differently. And notable examples can be British English and American English. Because some of you may be used to listening to American English, but others might be used to listening to British English. So before you stepped into the ways that you can improve your listening skill, make sure you ask yourself the same question. What are some problems that I'm currently facing when it comes to my listening skill? And you can work on that much better. For me, when I started to learn English, my problem is that I find it really difficult because the speakers are speaking way too fast. So I believe that the first way, number one, is you try to immerse yourself in more natural English. What do I mean by natural English? Well, let's find out in my 5 tips for you. Tip number one, I truly suggest you to read and listen together. So remember this before we start the first tip, is that the listening skill which I'm talking about is it's not just for some IELTS test or for some examination of yours, but listening skill also applied in everyday life when you need to speak to others or when you need to understand what the others are talking about. So sometimes it's not just for some important examination, but also learning how to listen carefully and understand other speakers can also be very beneficial for you when you are at school or especially when you are at the workplace. So tip number one, which I'm still mentioning, is about read and listen together. I usually do this tip until now, and the benefit is immense. So before I tell you how this can help you, I will tell you how this will work. For example, if you find yourself a video and there's a transcript, so you can both listen to the video and read the transcript out loud at the same time. And that's how it works. Because not only will you practice reading, but you will also practice how that word is spoken out loud. And for example, if you find that you pronounce this word differently than the speaker, then yes, you can easily pause the video and listen again until you know what is the correct pronunciation. So that's why I usually listen and read together at the same time. And I think an amazing source for you to try this is none other than the website TED Talks. I will link the link right everywhere in this video. So TED Talk is an amazing website in which you can listen to the video at the same time and also read the transcript. Make sure you find TED Talks on its website and not on YouTube itself. So while you are listening, you can try, this is like way different from shadowing. Shadowing is when you pause the video or when you turn off the voice and you try to like read without subtitles. But this is not shadowing. This is when you open a piece of transcript, open a video, and then try to read while listen to the video at the same time. And this has been really helpful for me because not only do I learn how to pronounce words correctly, I also learn and listen to the way they pronounce certain words too. So you can definitely try this method when you are free or when you're learning English anytime you want. Tip number 2 is try watching real life movies. I really recommend comedies and make sure that you choose the movie that suits your interest, suits your condition, and also suits your level of English. Like, do not choose a too hard movie because that will just end up in frustration because you are unable to understand the movie. I remember when I was little, I loved watching this one comedy called Extra. You can try searching it. There are many episodes. They're super funny and they speak really slow. And I think it's really suitable for someone who wants to immerse themselves in real life English. And I'm sure that there are many cartoons, Disney movies that you can try listening and watch because you'll feel entertained at the same time while also immerse yourself in real life English. So make sure as much as possible, try watching real life movies. Tip number 3 is a very good tip for those who find it really hard to listen and understand, is write down what you hear. Now this is different. It's not writing everything down in a video. I'm not asking you to write every single word the speaker is talking about. But when it comes to writing down what you hear, I am talking about summarization. For example, maybe take my video as a good example. After you finish watching my video, you can try summarize my video to see how much you understand and how much you remember from the previous video. I always do this because not only it helps me and I myself, I'm keeping a diary. So I love writing down things that I've watched and things that I have found immensely useful in my life. So I will try to summarize the main points they make. You don't really have to create an entire essay, just make bullet points and write down what you think are the main idea that the speaker mentioned in their videos. So I think that writing down what you hear and by summarizing videos will be really helpful because by that, you're actually forcing yourself to understand the video so that you can summarize the video when you finish watching it. And second, like the next tip I would love to give you is start by practicing watching without subtitles. Have you ever found yourself, even if you really understand and you are able to hear exactly what the speaker is talking. You are too reliant on subtitles. And that was me a year ago. Even though I can understand what the speaker is talking, but I still open subtitles because I was too reliant on it and I thought that I cannot live without subtitles. Well, that's wrong. Even though watching without subtitles can be really hard at first, I recommend you choose a video that is suitable to your level of English and that you can understand somewhat from that video. Of course, when you first watch it, you can still open subtitles and then understand it, learn from the video, but after watching it, you can just watch it again some more times and try watching it understanding without subtitles. Over time, I believe that you will be used to watching videos without subtitles and you will believe that you can actually do it. Because the more subtitles, the more reliant you are on subtitles, then the more kind of like you will never get good at English. And that's true. Subtitle is good when you are still learning English. But remember, if you have reached a certain level, for example, B1 or B2 in English, I think it's good for you to start turning off subtitles and watch movies without the English or Vietnamese or any subtitles in your mother tongue or in your language that you understand. So I believe that's all for today's video, and I hope you find this video about listening skill beneficial to your English journey. So bye.